It's Bootcamp week 4, and if you're here, it's because you are serious about doing the best you possibly can on your Spanish speaking exam. And today, I can guarantee you that this video is going to help you get the most out of your picture description. So let's get started. We're going to start today with some key advice, things you just need to know about the picture description part of the exam. We're going to do a little bit of a recap on the present continuous because it's a really important tense for this task. Then we're going to do some examples, one from Spanish to English, one from English to Spanish, and then one for you to work on your own. Finishing with tips on how to revise, and as always, everything you need in less than 15 minutes. So first of all, starting with the key advice. And number 1 is learn the phrases for describing the picture. There are absolutely no excuses for this. You know what is coming. You don't know what is going to be in the picture, but you know exactly what you have to do. And yeah, there is just no reason that you should not go into the exam prepared knowing the phrases you are going to use to describe the picture. I will show you mine in a couple of slides' time. If you are not one of my students, I'm sure your teachers have given you their own version of that, okay? And when you're describing the picture, you have to cover people, location, and action. So whatever phrases you are learning in advance of the exam as your structure grid for describing the picture will need to cover these things, okay? If in the exam you forget to do one of these things, you can and you will be asked the following questions. So make sure you know what they mean. So if you didn't cover people, your teacher could ask you, ¿y las personas? Literally, what about the people? And that is your prompt to be like, las personas son amigos, tienen el pelo negro, etc. ¿Y dónde están? Where are they? And that would trigger you to be like, están en el parque. If you really don't know how to answer that, están en España. Chances are nobody can say you're wrong. And the last one, and this one, I've had quite a few people not understand this recently, so this is the most important of all. ¿Y qué están haciendo? This is the part, the action, that a lot of people forget about. And this question is asking you, and what are they doing? ¿Qué están haciendo? And that needs to trigger you to say, están hablando, están bailando, están, I don't know, whatever they are doing in the picture. Okay, finally, if your teacher doesn't think you've said enough for your picture description, they can ask you algo más, which means anything else. And you just need to then, in that moment, improvise and use what you have learned for your key phrases for describing the picture to add more detail. Okay, if, this is the last point now, you learn the key phrases for describing the picture well, you should actually just be able to improvise in the moment, and then you don't need to write everything down in the prep time. And if you don't need to write everything down in the prep time except sentence starters, then you've got more time to do the role play and the read aloud task. So there are lots of benefits to this. And basically it is, if you learn the key phrases for describing the picture, you will be fine and you can improvise if needed. Okay, so the present continuous tense is an essential tense for this picture description task because you need to use this tense in order to say what the people in the picture are doing, and action is one of the 3 things that you must cover in your description. So to use the present continuous tense, we use, for the purpose of the picture, either está, he or she is, or están, plus the present participle. And the present participle is, if it's an AR verb, we remove the AR and we add ando. If it's an ER or an IR verb, we remove the ER, IR, and we add yendo. So an example, if you're not sure what I mean, they are playing video games for number 1. They are would be están. Playing video games, jugar is an AR verb, so I remove the AR and I add ando. So están jugando a los videojuegos would be my answer to number 1. So now I want you to pause the video and see if you can work out the translations for 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Be careful, number 5 is a bit of a challenge there, and then come back when you're ready for the answers. Okay, so if we have a look. Okay, so if we have a look now at the answers, we will find 1, están jugando a los videojuegos. That was the example we already did. 2, está comiendo palomitas. 3, la mujer está conduciendo. 4, las chicas están hablando. 5, Lo están pasando bomba. That one was really difficult, but the lo on the end here, anytime you've got anything after the AR, ER, IR on the infinitive, it would go before any of the verbs at the very start. So lo están pasando bomba. And 6, los chicos están usando los móviles. Okay. So this is what I referred to earlier. This is my structure grid for how you should be describing the picture. So you've got the 6 things on the side: who, emotions, clothes, location, important, time, and action. So who, location, and action being the most important there. And 2 or 3 steps to give detail in each one with the English and Spanish. Okay, I've done videos on this before, which I will link at the top now. But just if you want this, take a screenshot, take a picture of it. You might want to use it to help you with the next translation tasks. It's not going to stay on the screen. So if you want this, take action now. And so moving on then to, we have an example here. Picture, description written in Spanish. So this is your chance now to pause the video, read through the description and translate it into English. You can either just do that in your head or write it down. Writing it down is obviously more helpful, as you wish, and come back when you're ready for the answers. Okay, so the answers to this translation, and actually before we get any further, I would just say this is also a good example of something you could be using for reading aloud. Like, there is any text that you get can be used as read aloud practice. So if you're somebody that wants to practice reading aloud and get better at that, this is a good example of something you could be using. Anyway, moving on to the answers. So we've got, in the photo you can see 5 boys. I would say that they are friends. They all have short black hair. And sorry, what I should have said was the yellow was for, if you're doing foundation, that's the minimum you need to do. Everybody should be doing, everybody doing higher should do everything. But if you're doing foundation, the yellow is like the minimum. But obviously you try to do as much as you can. I would say that they are happy because they are smiling. The boys are wearing casual clothes. They are wearing t-shirts and shorts. The boy on the right is also wearing a black cap. They are also wearing trainers. I like the clothes because they are cool. They are in a house. In the background, you can see a grey sofa, a small tree, and a lamp. In the foreground, there is a table. The house appears modern. That parece is a nice phrase, like it looks, it appears. I think that this photo was taken in summer because they aren't wearing jackets and there is a lot of light. And finally, they are playing video games and the boy in the middle is eating popcorn. I would say that they are having a great time. Now, this is a full mark answer. And some of the things I really like about this are with the actions, specifying what they're all doing, but specifying what one specific person is doing. If you can add the phrase, I would say they're having a great time. If you can learn it well, that is a really nice one to add in. Loads of detail on their clothes and lots of detail on the location. So I'm just trying to pick out everything I can see in the picture. I'm using phrases like in the background, in the foreground, in the middle. So just going into as much detail as I can. So now, your turn to go from English to Spanish. So a different picture, an example written in English, again, following the structure grid that I've shown you before. So you might, if you took a picture of that, you might want to use that now to help you with the Spanish. So you're going to pause the video. You're definitely going to write this one down and you'll come back when you're ready for the answers. Okay. So here we have number 1. En la foto se pueden ver 6 personas. Pueden because there are multiple people. 5 niños y un hombre. Diría que son un profesor, sorry, that should have 1 S, profesor y estudiantes. La chica a la derecha tiene el pelo castaño y largo. Again, I'm really specifying the girl on the right, and then I'm describing her. So I'm trying to show that I'm giving as much detail as possible. Diría que están cansados porque no están sonriendo. So just a slight variation on what we're used to with the, I would say they're happy because they are smiling. But in this case, they're not smiling. Llevan ropa de deporte. Llevan camisetas y pantalones cortos. El hombre y el chico también llevan una gorra. También llevan zapatillas de deporte. Creo que la ropa es cómoda. So I'm using también twice here. You could say además, would be nicer. Una gorra is a cap. Un gorro is like a winter hat, so slight difference. And note that, so I've taught you before ropa de calle, but you can change the word after de to any noun. So ropa de verano, summer clothes. Ropa de casa, house clothes. Ropa de, I don't know, piscina. Like if you couldn't remember the word for swimming clothes, swimming pool clothes would work. So ropa de plus any noun. Están en una pista de tenis. Al fondo se pueden ver coches y árboles y más personas. A la izquierda hay una red. So red being net, you could specify red de tenis. Una pista de tenis, there is some more specific vocabulary here. And people could get away with this. If you saw this picture and you're like, I don't know how to say tennis courts, you could say outside, which is a more commonly known piece of vocabulary. So están al aire libre could also work. And again, I'm trying to go into as much detail as I can whilst keeping it as simple as I can to get as many marks as possible. Creo que esta foto fue sacada en verano porque no llevan chaquetas y parece que hace sol. This parece que is a nice phrase. It looks like. Kind of gets you away with a lot of things because you can say things like, it looks like this, and somebody else could be like, I don't think so. But you're not saying they are, you're saying it looks like, so you can get away with it. And finally, están jugando al tenis. Y el profesor, again, one S, está hablando con los estudiantes. Diría que no lo están pasando bomba. So previously we looked at lo están pasando bomba. This time we put a no in front of it because it's negative. Okay, so that's it. Just one final task to do now, and that is over to you. So there is a new picture on the screen. I have given you the structure for describing a picture. I know you can't see half of the English, but you've got all you need for the Spanish. So now it's your turn to describe the picture. You've had 2 examples, so you're really well placed to do a really good job on this. I would suggest you set yourself a timer for 8 minutes and you see how far you get in those 8 minutes, because of your 14 minutes in your prep time, if you do 8 minutes on the picture, you've got 4 minutes for the role play and 2 minutes for the read aloud. So that helps you manage your time well. If you think I'm not quite at a point where I can get it done in 8 minutes, then you allow yourself a little bit longer to practice, maybe 10 minutes. And the more practices you do, you then take off 30 seconds each time until you get to a point where you are really good at doing it in the 8 minutes. Okay, so it's over to you now. You pause the video and then just some revision tips whenever you're ready to come back at the end. If you want me to read and give you feedback on the descriptions that you have written, then please post them in the comments and I will gladly do that. Otherwise, just some really simple revision tips. I cannot bang this drum enough. Know the picture description structure grid. That is the list of key phrases that you've just seen on the previous slide. Whether it's that one or you use the one that your teacher has given you, if they've given you something different, that is an essential part of successfully describing the picture. Those 8 marks and higher are not easy to get. 5, I'd say, if you do a good job, you're easily on 5, but those extra 3, you really have to work for those. And if you follow every step on that structure grid, then you should be there. Practice some examples. You can describe any picture. Like, you don't need your teacher to give you examples. You can just Google a picture for a topic that you're not very good at. You'll know what the topic is going to be by the end of this month when you've chosen your topic. So just if you've chosen to do local area, then type into Google, give me like local area pictures or Spanish cities, describe those pictures. Like, there is nothing stopping you doing reams and reams of practice. And finally, practice the present continuous. Make sure you know this really well. I will link now at the top of the screen a previous video I have made on the present continuous to make it as simple as possible. And that is it. Good luck. I will see you back next week, and well done for all the work you have been doing so far. Hasta la próxima semana.